Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back. I am so thrilled to be home. I just got back from PourCon in Las Vegas yesterday morning, and it was so amazing and such an incredible experience to, first of all, meet all of my amazing sisters. The fellow instructors were just awesome, and we had the best time together. And then meeting all of you guys who were there was just fantastic. I love it when you guys give me hugs and say hi, and just, it's like the best feeling in the world. So thank you all so much to everybody who was there. Huge thank yous to all of the ground crew for all of your extremely hard work. Huge thank yous to everybody at Fluid Art Co. Billy, Shelly, it was so amazing to meet you. Lanny, you're amazing, and I had such a good time. My friend Fiona was there, and we got to spend time together. It was just fantastic. So thank you all for being there. There's a ton of pictures all over Facebook, and I will post some pictures at the end of this video as well for you guys to see. I was so inspired by everybody. All the artwork there was absolutely incredible. Even people that I've been watching for a long time, seeing them pour in person was just fantastic. So tonight we're going to go back to my Yeets, which I'm having a lot of fun with, and we're gonna delve into that a little bit deeper. HOA and I have been talking about what could possibly make them better, and I'm going to share some of that with you tonight. The first thing that I would like to talk about, though, is a base coat. So I keep picking base coat colors for negative space that are kind of transparent, and it's driving me a little bit crazy. So I had actually painted the sides and edges of this with the base coat color that we're going to use tonight, which is this gorgeous one. We're going back to our Treasure Gold Folk Art Treasure Gold series. This one is Antique Copper, which is absolutely gorgeous. Such an amazing color, from purple to copper, just incredibly stunning, and I love this, and I think it's going to be fantastic as a base coat. So I painted my sides and edges, and I was getting this like sheerness along the edge. So after trying it 5 or 6 times and making myself crazy, then I finally thought about it a little bit, and I said, let me use a nice opaque color along the edges and the sides. I actually painted the whole canvas this color because it's opaque. And now I have no fear when using the color that I want as my base coat that I'm not going to get any of that sheerness along the edge, that sort of halo effect, which really I don't like. So that's first tip. Use something opaque as the color that you paint down first, and then you can pour whatever color base coat you want on top of it once it's dry. So that's the first thing I wanted to show you guys. This is a 15 by 30 inch gallery wrapped canvas from Artist Loft. And I have taped the back and put my push pins in. As you can see, this is how sheer that antique copper was. So you can also use the antique copper, but I did it when I had already mixed it with my pouring medium. If you don't mix it with your pouring medium, you use it straight out of the tub, it will be much more opaque than it is when it's mixed up. So that's what I wanted to tell you guys about the base coat. Don't be afraid to paint it with something opaque first, and then you can use whatever you want on top of it. So we are going to do some more Yeets, and the tip that HOA had given me, that when we were discussing this, he was in the last video, I think you guys may have seen, he kept saying, you know, since I keep using the Yeet and it ends up in almost the same place, to push the canvas farther back to get like a progression on where the Yeet is going to end up on the canvas. So we're going to play with that a little bit more tonight. In one of the videos, the first one we did, I had filled up these little 5-ounce Dixie cups all the way to the top, and it was a lot of paint, and I was afraid that it wasn't going to work well, it was going to crack or something because I wasn't tilting it. And then the one after that, I started using very small amounts of paint, only about an ounce or two, and I think that much worked a lot better to have smaller amounts of paint. Also to flick my wrist, not just throw it, but to actually get some, as HOA says, put some stank on it. So we're going to be doing all of that. We're going to do first, I'm going to show you my colors, and then we're going to put down our base coat, and then we'll get started. So this is that antique copper that I was telling you about, and just HOA. Can you look at this? Like how beautiful that is. Do you see that coppery, gorgeous shift on there?
Yep.
It's just so pretty, and I love all of these treasure golds that I've done with the base coat so far. We've done a couple with that green gold, which was just gorgeous. We did the fire opal, which was amazing. I love that color. So we're going to use this tonight. The colors that are going to be in the Yeets are, this one's a little different. This one started out as the aquamarine from Treasure Gold, and I added a little bit of this turquoise blue from Liquitex to it, and we ended up with this gorgeous shimmery, sparkly turquoise color, which is so pretty. I also wanted to talk about these Fluid Art Go Piggy Paddles. They're the long stir sticks, and they're awesome. They're so easy to clean off. It's almost like a butter knife. But this part is thinner and flexible, so it's easy to scrape around your cup and make sure you get the sides and edges. And they're taller, so I use 16-ounce cups, and they fit in there perfectly. So check out Fluid Art Co. for these, fluidart.co. Fluid-art.co, that's it. Okay, so then after this one, this is another tricky one. This is my Amsterdam Pearl series, but we're not doing Pearl Yellow tonight. Tonight we are using a combination of Pearl Green and Pearl Blue to make a Pearl Turquoise, which I have used before, and it is so pretty and just beautiful. So it's not going to look like it now, but it will when it's dry. I can sort of see a shift on there in the light. I don't know if you guys can. That's Baxter wanting to come back in. Okay. And then last but not least, we have our Deco Art Americana Decor Metallics in 24 karat gold, which is absolutely gorgeous. The pouring medium tonight is my Golden's Heavy Gel Gloss and American Floetrol, which is about a 3-to-1 ratio. Let's put our base coat down. I'm just going to move these over for the moment. Okay.
It's Baxter doing his impression of a snuffled pig.
He's got a rawhide and he's looking for a place to bury it, but he doesn't want to be alone. He wants to be with us. So, okay, so let's put our base coat down. So this is dry now. Not completely dry, but it's dry to the touch. So here we go. So when you're working with something and you want negative space, take a little bit of time. Take care with what you're doing to make sure it comes out nice. And especially when I'm doing negative space, I like to tilt out the base coat color rather than spread it with the spatula. I'm just going to go off this edge and come back, because we will get a little bit of this like shiftiness where some of the lines were, but not nearly as much as we would if we were using a spatula to spread this. So we come down off this edge.
Baxter, come. No, Baxter, you leave it.
And we don't want this too thick, so we are going to tilt it quite a bit to make sure that it's covered, but it's not on there too thick. And it's nice, there's not a lot of paint moving very fast, so it seems like it might have actually been the perfect amount. Okay, before I start, I am going to get my corners and edges just to make sure that everything is covered. So now, as you see, this is leaving that beautiful smooth surface on there. We're going to torch it because I see some air bubbles in here, but this is looking beautiful. And I love that everything is covered and there's no sheerness along the edges because we painted it with that opaque color. So scoot that over. I'm just going to let this tilt for another second just to make sure we don't have anything else extra left on here before we get started. Okay, it's such a cool color. I hope you guys can see that coppery shift on there. It's beautiful. Okay, I'm going to scrape my table real quick and get this back into my cup. Now, we're going to do the fun part with the Yeets. Okay, so let's get our colors back up here. These three. And I specifically chose colors that are going to have beautiful contrast against that darker purple copper color, the antique copper. Okay. So, what we're gonna do, we're gonna put a little bit of pearl, that pearl turquoise in there. Not a lot at all, it's just barely covering the bottom of the cup. And then I'm gonna put some of that turquoisey aquamarine color. And a little bit of gold on top. And one more shot of the pearl. Okay. Move those over. I'm going to keep it kind of closer to start with. All right.
Remember to turn your wrist complete over.
Yes. Okay. Are you ready, husband of awesomeness?
Aye, lass, that I am.
Let's see how this works out. Here we go. I'm just waiting for the paint to get to the tip of the cup. Here we go. Ooh. That's pretty cool. I like that spiral on there. And we got a little bit of a unicorn curve. That's cool. Okay, I'm gonna do that again one more time. Same cup for the moment because there wasn't a lot in there. Some pearl, some turquoise, some gold. Okay, we're gonna start with this just like right there. Okay. And I'm gonna stand a little bit back and off to the side this time. Ready, darling? Are you ready, husband of awesomeness?
Yes, my love, I am ready.
Here we go. That's really pretty. I don't know if you can see those like spirals. There's a pretty good spiral too with some bubbles in it. I actually don't mind the bubbles. In the first one I wasn't sure I liked them, but when it dried I loved that I could see the base coat color through those holes, so it was pretty awesome. I'm gonna get a clean cup now. We're gonna do that again. Let's start with a little bit of blue this time. And some pearl. Some gold. Okay. Now this time I'm gonna actually move it back a little bit, about a couple inches. We're gonna do that again. Are you ready, darling?
Yes, my love.
Here we go. That's really pretty. That's interesting. It's like an arrowhead, but I love that spiral. Okay. I'm gonna try to get one up there, I think. We're gonna use the same cup. This time we're gonna start with some gold. And a little bit of the blue. A little bit of the pearl. So where you see white will be that pearl turquoise. Okay, I'm gonna pull it closer to me this time because I want to try to get something up in here.
So a really interesting thing happening in the base coat. It's like
The bubbles.
The pebbly
Yeah.
bubbles.
It's kind of, I don't know, it's pretty cool though.
Is it actually a texture? Is it?
No, it's
underneath?
flat. It's just where the bubbles popped.
Wow.
That's from the Floetrol in the paint. Okay. Are you ready, darling?
Yes, my love.
Okay, here we go. Okay, well we got the table a lot, but we got that corner, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna just get what's left in the bottom of this, and we're gonna do some super fine lines. I'm gonna put a little bit of pearl in there. Okay. There's very, very little paint in here. If you can see, HOA, can you get in there close?
Mm-hmm.
It's like barely, barely, I mean, okay. Here we go. We're gonna do some little fine lines now.
That one went off the table.
It did go off the table. Okay. Let's do one more. Okay. I'm gonna start with some pearl. I think I just want to do pearl and gold with this one. I'm gonna leave the blue out for the moment because there's a lot of blue in there. Okay. You ready, darling?
Yes, my love.
So I'm gonna put a little pearl on top too, otherwise we're just gonna get a lot of gold. Okay. Here we go. That's pretty. Okay, I'm gonna put some blue in the same cup. And some pearl. Alright, I'm gonna push this back this time a little bit more. we're going to try for something over here.
And aim for over here, because it goes that way. Ready?
Okay.
Like pretend it's here, and then it'll go.
Are you ready, husband of awesomeness?
Yes, Mother.
Here we go. Husband of backseat painting. Here we go. Okay. That's cool. I'm getting better at deciding where I want it though. I think moving the canvas is a good idea. I'm just gonna put a little bit of pearl in there and a little bit of gold. Okay. I'm gonna stand off to the side and we're gonna fling with abandon. Here we go. Okay. I like what's happening so far. I don't know if I want to get this too busy. I kind of want to keep it more on the simple side. And go a little bit of the blue, a little bit of the pearl. I'm going to skip the gold for this one. Okay. Are you ready, darling?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Yeah, that's cool. I love the movement. That curve is so pretty to me. And I was really, really happy with the last one when I had been doing it, yeeting it vertically, and then we turned it horizontally when it was dry. What do you think, honey? You think we need more?
That one looks like a seahorse from here.
Yeah?
That thing that you said looked like an arrowhead looks like a seahorse.
Right here?
Yeah.
I did all sorts of things. I love these two spirals. They're really, really pretty. There's like a little face right there. This one is gorgeous in here. I'm not sure I love this blunt edge.
Snack stick.
No. I don't want to do anything like that. If anything, I would yeet on it again, which I think I'm actually going to do. Do you think, or no?
It's really hard to hit a spot.
Let's try something. Just gonna get a little bit of paint right on the stick. And turn that again, so it's the same direction it was. And I'm just gonna fling the stick right like this. Ooh, I like that splatter.
What if you flick it?
That's pretty cool. Let's see that again. Okay, here we go. Okay, I don't think I really want to do any more than that. That one's still bothering me, but I'm not going to mess with it. So I think it's actually going to be like that when it's dry. But I think this is really cool. I'm going to torch it one more time. So just one quick note, with the Amsterdam pearls, I don't like to torch them too much because they get a little strange. I don't know if I can describe what actually happens, but they get a little bit weird if you torch them for too much. So just go real quick and then be done with it. This is looking pretty cool. I like what's happening in here. I love that base coat color with the antique copper. I love all of these colors on here, that aquamarine turquoise and the pearl turquoise and that 24 karat gold. So I'm hopeful that this is going to turn out pretty awesome when it's dry, and I will show you guys when it's dry. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you again to everybody who was at PourCon. You guys made it such an amazing, incredible event, and I love you all. So we'll be right back. I see a bird. Burb. Cool. I like the splatters. That's really fun. Maybe next time we'll do splatters first and then the Yeet. Okay, so this is actually the next day. It's not totally dry yet, but it is starting to dry around the edges. You guys can see over here that gorgeous antique copper in the sun looks very, very copper. Whereas where it's still very wet, it's kind of more purpley. But this one turned out really pretty. I really like all of these Yeets with the flinging of the paint is lots of fun and has this beautiful spirally sort of effect to it. That gold is super blingy and shiny. I see lots of birds in this one. Beautiful colors though. I like the contrast between that aquamarine and the pearl turquoise, which will show up as turquoise hopefully when it's dry, or at least with a shift on it. And of course our aquamarine with the turquoise in there too. So this turned out pretty cool. I will show you again when it is completely dry, but that's not going to be tomorrow. So thanks so much for being here with us, guys. I really appreciate all of you, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you real soon. Bye bye.